Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Scrubcast. This particular Scrubcast is brought to you by me, a Scrub, Solaris Quixote, also known as Solaris X. This particular broadcast, I'm going to focus on the SLI League StarSeries Season 2. I think this is some kind of championship kind of thing going on here. This is a best of 5, so I assume that's what happens. I actually don't have the descriptor here. But it doesn't really matter. The game that you're about to watch is between Virtus.pro and Vega Squadron. Two very good teams. And the hero I want to watch, which I will watch the whole map, is Darkseer, or whole time, is Darkseer. Played by Yoku. It says yoky, but it's apparently Yoku. And I have not watched this. I don't know how this ends up, but I did look at the statistics, and I saw that there's a Darkseer, and Darkseer did pretty well. And I've been wanting to cast the Darkseer game because, Darkseer is one of those heroes. He just, the only flash he has is his vacuum into a wall, which is flashy, of course. But he kind of loses. A lot of the casters in the professional matches don't really focus on him, and so I don't really know what he's doing most of the time. And as a scrub, I want to learn from these professional players. I want to learn what it is that he does, and why is it that he's picked all the time, especially in the offlane position. I think that's going to be very helpful to me and hopefully to you. He is picked as part of a lineup. He was a second pick for Virtus.pro. It was Lion, Doom, Juggernaut, and then Darkseer, I believe. And then there's a Spiritbreaker, Sven, and a Razor. And so it looks like what's going to happen here is they're going to be playing a Razor mid. A Spiritbreaker and a Darkseer offlane is kind of a bruiser combination there. The Ion Shell and the Spiritbreaker and the Spiritbreaker doing Spiritbreaker things, run around and bashing people in the offlane. Sven and Lion in the safe lane. Which means that if, let's see here, we got Vega Squadron, we got a Doom, Juggernaut, Vengeful Spirit, Tidehunter, and Viper. I think we can count on the Viper being mid. We can count on the Tidehunter being offlane, the Doom also probably being offlane, maybe jungle, and then the Juggernaut and the Vengeful Spirit being a safe line. So you've got the Spiritbreaker and Darkseer combination here going up against the Juggernaut and the Vengeful Spirit, the Juggernaut, the Juggernaut and the Vengeful Spirit in the safe lane. That's an interesting combination. I don't think there's a ton of kill potential from Darkseer and Spiritbreaker, but from what I saw in the statistics, it looks like Darkseer, though he didn't have a lot of kills, had a ton of assists. So it's kind of cool. I might even kind of watch Spiritbreaker here as well, because it's kind of cool to watch a Spiritbreaker. I haven't seen one played in a little while. But this is mostly going to focus on Darkseer. In fact, I'm going to put the camera on Darkseer's perspective. I'm going to hit the play button. I'm going to cast this from the very beginning to the very end, from almost exclusively Yoku's perspective. I'm foreseeing here, as a Darkseer, I don't know what role he plays other than an Ion Shell and kind of a Vacuum Waller. But my understanding is he plays a role in the lane that is kind of unparalleled, something I don't really understand. So that's what I'm here to look for. So he starts off, the whole team starts off with a smoke. And he starts heading bottom lane. He has 4 tangos. He's got a Fairy Fire, Healing Salve, a lot of regen there, quite a bit of regen. I need some last minute regen from the Fairy Fire. He's anticipating being ganked, I assume, on the Juggernaut especially. The Juggernaut and Venge. The Venge having the stun. The Juggernaut having the Blade Fury. Being able to get in there and do a ton of damage to the Darkseer. So I don't really know what that smoke was for. I guess he was just part of a smoke that was supposed to be maybe a gank attempt over in their own woods. But that didn't go very well. But anyway, he's got a Clarity. I'm pretty sure that's going to be an important skill to have in lane, especially keep those Ion Shells up. And he's got a GG stick. Starts off with 660 health. First we got a team fight here, and I'll go into the hero a little bit more. A little team fight. Looks like he's watching the team fight, see if he can get a kill on Tide. I seriously doubt they're going to get a kill on Tide. Yeah, that's not going to happen. They're going to retreat. So, just to kind of look at the hero here. I always like to do this. I don't like to take too long, but Darkseer is a hero who starts off 660 health. He had, well, at least with the, he's got the GG wand there, so maybe 650. I don't know. However much health he has. He's got about 660 health. He starts off with 6 armor. That's probably a big reason why he's offlaner a lot. That's a lot of armor to start off with. He doesn't look like he has a lot of armor. I mean, look at that. He's like bare clothed. Look, he's just running around in his blue suit there with his big giant beard and his cone head, a couple horns on his back. Anyway, he's got 6 armor. He's got a decent amount of damage, actually. He's got 60 damage to start off with. He's got +2 because of the fairy fire. 300 move speed, not bad. Not the best in the world. He's going to... In fact, that might be one of the slowest. He's going to have Surge at level 2, potentially maybe level 1 if he needs it. He'll probably go Ion Shell level 1. And what are these spells in here, by the way? And what do these spells do? Well, Vacuum. Everybody knows Vacuum. You cast it in a target area, and it sucks everybody up in that area into a much smaller area, like a vacuum. And it does do damage. That is something that people don't realize. It does a little bit of damage. It also disrupts people, so you can use it to interrupt teleports or whatever it is they're doing. It does not go through BKBs. It does not pierce spell immunity. Ion Shell, probably the reason this hero is picked so frequently. Ion Shell doing magical damage around either ally or enemy, whoever has the shell on top of them. It is a 250 radius, which is not a very big radius, and the damage per second is nice especially when you get 2 of these things. It stacks, or it doesn't stack, I'm sorry. It scales 30, 50, 70, 90. It is magical damage, so any magical resistance will stop that. It's a 25-second duration. Yeah, but it's only a 9-second cooldown, so you can cast this quite frequently. And the mana drops pretty significant. Actually, it goes up because it's much better spell over on, because it's 90 damage per second times 25 seconds, potentially times 2. So you do the math there. That's 180, just about 200 damage, 400 damage being dealt. Let's see here. 1,080? I don't know. It's quite a bit of damage. Maybe 2,000 damage over the course of the entire spell if you're just to stand there. If you had 2 ion shells on top of you. It's quite a bit of damage. Surge. This goes to go through BKB, which is silly because it is I guess it's good that it does that because it is a helpful spell for his allies. It gives them a speed boost. Decent speed boost. Allows him to... I'm not sure what the actual speed bonus is with it, but I know everybody knows it's pretty fast. The scale here is the cooldown on it and the duration. So you're going to get a much longer duration. He'll probably almost certainly get 1 value point at level 2. Probably start maxing out the Ion Shell. Maybe eventually go for a Vacuum. Not sure how he'll build this. The Wall of Replica being a essential skill for using against big, fat, stats-based heroes. I'm not sure there's anybody on the enemy team that's going to be a really good Wall of Replica hero to kind of clone. But you can see it does a little bit of damage. It does last quite a while. The damage, Replica's damage is actually pretty decent. 90% of the hero's damage, base damage, is why it's really nasty against stat heroes. The damage taken by the illusions, of course, are much more significant. It's 4 times the amount of damage anything else would take. Very good cast range at level 3. It's 1,300 cast range. And the Scepter Replica damage, if you get the Scepter, is even better. So it actually increases the damage pretty significantly. So that's really nice. Big mana cost there at the toward the end, 375 mana. And the cooldown is going to be 100 seconds. 100 seconds no matter what you do. So this hero, I think, primarily built to use the Ion Shell. Needs to be somewhat mobile so he can get the hell out of dodge when he is in lane on the off lane. Does start off with a really nice amount of armor. It's going to be very helpful. He does go ahead and get the stout shield. He's got plenty of regen. He's going to be a formidable opponent in the off lane. He's at least going to be somebody that you can't kill very easily, and that's very nice to have. So you start off with the creep block. He's going to go ahead intentionally, I think, let this ranged guy run ahead forward. He goes ahead and puts the Ion Shell on the creep quite early. I think he's getting ready for the second Ion Shell. He's going to be able to do it here. He probably wants to go ahead and... Yeah, he's got 2 Ion Shells, and he's actually sitting here in the enemy area. He's going to take a lot of damage here. He doesn't have a Surge. I'm not sure what he's thinking. Pops Fairy Fire. He's going to salve up as soon as he gets a chance. By now, there it is. He's going to eat his way. through the jungle. He's got a couple of tangos. He just burned a ridiculous amount of mana. He's got all of his tangos gone. He's got Spearbreaker's going to come down here, potentially get a kill on Slayer, but he's going to give up. Oh, he actually gets the first blood. Wow. And that's the power of an Ion Shell. People just don't realize how much damage it's going to do. So he played that very well. He used all of his regen. He bought all of his regen again, and a Soul Ring recipe, so he can come down here. So that's really nice. Good job there, Yoku. And the creep wave is currently under the enemy tower, which is good, and maybe one of the reasons why you get a Darkseer, because this Ion Shell keeps pushing the creeps under the tower, making it difficult for the enemy to hit, get farm. So he's just going to put it on himself at this point. He does have his Bruiser ally sitting around over to the left, to the west. He's not going to be doing much. He's not even looking at his ally at the moment. He is now once the stun came out, but he's going to back off a little bit. He's going to, I guess, maybe put an Ion Shell in these little guys. What he's going to do, he has unlimited mana, or he has full mana here. Yeah, so he's going to go ahead and put the Ion Shell on the hero. Fullest health, it's a melee hero, so also if the enemy were to go on top of him, attack him, then that would pull the Creep Wave and the Ion Shell. So now you got Creep Wave plus 2 Ion Shells on top of you. He's already got a level 3 or level 2 Ion Shell. So he's going to go ahead and pop a Clarity. He's going to get the Sage's Mask, a little extra mana regen. As soon as he gets the Ring of Regen, he's going to be able to have that Soul Ring. He's going to be able to cast however much he wants. Constantly have those Ion Shells up. He's also interfering here with the enemy jungle. And with this Bruiser combination, you're going to get Spearbreaker's going to charge in and get stunned to the face. It's not going to do very much there. But he's going to also be able to cut the lane, kind of like an Axe does. People go on him. They're going to take a lot of damage over time. Now he's not going to take any damage. He's going to get blocked by, very nicely body blocked by, who was that, VN?
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
FN, sorry. FN Loot Market. That's kind of interesting. But, you know, I think that's the other thing that he does. He just does a lot of disruption, and maybe that's his power in the lane. He's got this Ion Shell on him. He's going to do a lot of damage, even if he's running away. He's got the escape mechanism. He's going to be able to get quite a bit of last hits here. He's able to push the wave under the enemy tower. He's able to punish the enemies that go on top of him, punish the enemies that are just trying to get last hits. So he sits in there right in the middle of the creep wave and able to do some damage. Now, it's not a ton of damage. I mean, FN is not taking really that much damage. I'm sure he has some regen. Okay, he's actually out of regen. That's interesting. So he's setting up. He's got the Ion Shell on top of him. He's got an Ion Shell on top of a creep. Spearbreaker was charging in there. Wasn't able to connect on Juggernaut, perhaps just using that as a mechanism to get down in the lane a little bit faster. He's putting the Ion Shell on the second guy, not on the first guy, because the first guy's going to get hit for the most, but the second one's going to be able to start doing damage the quickest. And he's going to get some last hits, keep that pressure on the Juggernaut, not let the Juggernaut farm as much as possible, then creep wave back under the tower. Now, as soon as the back under the tower, he's going to go around, cut this wave. There it is. He's not putting the Ion Shell on yet. I guess he's going to do it and connect the creeps here, put it on one of the enemy creeps. Okay. So I guess he can get the hell out if necessary and still be killing this creep wave. You have to be careful here. The Venge is up, Blade Mail is going to be up, and they're going to go for a kill. He does not have he's now the Ion Shell on top of him, and there is the Juggernaut ultimate. Did not really anticipate, I think, that. The Juggernaut ult went off a little faster than he probably thought. Now, unfortunately, the Spearbreaker's not going to have his ultimate if he didn't be able to kill their Juggernaut. Would have been nice. Didn't happen. He's able to get his boots after his Soul Ring. Makes sense he gets the Soul Ring first. He already has an Ion Shell if he needs to move quickly. He needs boots, you know, eventually, pretty quickly, but not that quickly. He does have the Ion Shell, or I'm sorry, the Surge. Going for a Ring of Regen here. Yeah, he's going to go ahead and go for a mech. And that makes sense. You know, what does Darkseer do once he's, you know, vacuumed, vacuum ion wall of replica, and then, you know, ion shelled twice and surged? Well, this gives him something else to do. He can mechanism. And also gives another, increases the, I guess, the threat, I guess the hate against him to a certain extent, because, you know, once he needs to be a target people want to go on, you know, and depriving the enemy of the ability or the desire to kill the other people. It deprives the enemy of, oh, he's going to get so dead here. Yeah, he's going to pop the ultimate. Not a very good idea, but maybe the Spirit Breaker is able to come in and get a start. Looks like his allies are coming in here as a stun from the Lion. Right onto the Doom. Doom's going to get killed. Doom's actually taking quite a bit of damage from the Spirit Breaker and the Lion combination there, plus the wall of replica illusion. But as always, the Blade Fury is going to do a ridiculous amount of damage. Enemy's not going to be, or his ally's not going to be able to ward that off. But what I was saying is, you know, something I haven't really talked a lot about in my cast, and something I'm just sort of observing here, is you kind of, if you're a support that people aren't really targeting, and I don't think people target Darkseers very much, because it's not like he has like an active stun, and once usually he's going to have casted vacuum wall pretty quickly. So either they burst down the Darkseer before anything can happen. And you see the other value here. He's just taking all of this farm. He's just so good at farming the enemy jungle here and interrupting what's going on, getting lots of money from it, deleting stacks. But you know, if he is in there and he is able to contribute to the fight, then they have a reason to go on him even after he's Wall of Replica and vacuum. And that's, you know, that's a side perk, I guess. He's about to get ganked here. Gets stunned. Gonna get a Blade Fury. Actually, he's gonna get ulted, which actually goes to a creep but doesn't kill him. But then, once again, Spirit Breaker coming in. Spirit Breaker stops. They're gonna go on the Viper here. Got the Razor connecting with the Viper, stealing his damage. And they're finally gonna get the kill there on the Viper. It's like Spirit Breaker trying to charge out of there, not able to get out of there in time. Meanwhile, FN still in the lane, still farming, still getting levels. Getting decent farm. So what's the combination look like, or the matchup look like here? Level 7 Darkseer versus a level 8 Juggernaut. Not too bad. Juggernaut's got some stats from the Ring of Acula. He's got the Ring of Health. You know, he's going to be edging closer, I'm guessing, to that Battle Fury. So the matchup is still safe enough for now. And, you know, as the creep waves keep getting pulled over here, I don't think he did that. In fact, I don't know who did that. But he keeps interrupting them, and he keeps taking them. So whoever's doing that probably should stop. Okay. So he's not, in this thing, you know, his position in this game is not a level 5. He's not a level 5. He's not a position 5. He's a position 4. And he's going to slowly pick up this mechanism. He does have the chainmail. He's not going to pick it up. He's actually going to, I would pick it up rather than having an Iron Branch, but he's going to keep the Iron Branch. And he's going to keep farming. Try to farm this up real fast. Only he's at 900 gold. Let the creep wave come back to his tower. Doesn't want to keep dying to that Juggernaut ultimate, which is really nasty. All he needs is Avenge done. Plus a Juggernaut ult, and he's dead. At least until he gets the mechanism, and he can heal himself back up. So maybe what he's going to do here is use the bait. They keep going on Yoku here, so Yoku is going to bait it out. Turns out he didn't need to bait it out. The enemy just got out of position. They might get a courier type kill here too. They're not going to be able to do it though. And that's the power of a Blade Fury on a Juggernaut. Juggernaut's looking for that ultimate. Can do so in the woods. Going to kill pretty much whoever's over there. So looks like the Ion Shell keeps going on. It's going on. I think that's at the Razor. Yeah, I think it's on the Razor. It's hard to see. Yeah, there it is. He's got it himself. He's got it on the Razor, frontline hero. He cast the Ion, sorry, the Wall of Replica a while back there. Like that was just kind of a defensive Wall of Replica, just kind of scare them into, make them think twice about moving forward. Didn't really work too well because they walk right, either around it or they walk right through it, and they're going to push that bottom tower. He's just farming. I guess they've decided they're not going to be able to defend that. And that makes sense. Good team decision. Not something you typically see in pub matches, so good luck trying to make that work out. He does need 50 gold. He's going to get this right here with these two creeps, be able to pick up the mechanism, and now they can fight. Total knowledge going to the position 5.
Radiant's
Lion.
middle tower
support.
is under attack.
Darkseer can farm decently. He's going to be able to get decent levels. He's already level 9. Lion's probably further behind than that. Lion's only level 5. Poor Lion. Poor Lion. FNG on the Lion. So Darkseer using every last bit of reserve he has before he goes back. He wants to maximize his farm efficiency. Get through most of that jungle. It's going to be a gank here on Juggernaut. He's going to get Spirit Breaker. He's going to get, let's see here. His damage stolen. He's going to get Sven stunned. He is so dead. Static Link, that's right. And just as the Razor was about to TP out, my gosh, he gets ulted by 2 heroes. Spirit Breaker is going to run the hell away if he can. Sven is in danger here of dying. He's going to try to stun and kill this Doom. I don't think he actually popped God Strength for that, but he's going to get stunned. Where is the Darkseer? Darkseer's farming. He's farming away. He's going to get his mana boots, and I think he realized he was just no way he was going to be able to get into that fight. And there are some stacks here, probably for the Sven, actually. So he's taking, I mean, he's high level. This is a high position for him. He's either going to be I'm guessing he's a 3rd position. Behind the Spirit Breaker and the Lion, but not in front of the Razor. So Razor really can't farm. Sven can. Sven's dead. So I guess you want to just take advantage of that farm as much as possible. He's going to be careful here. I'm guessing he's going to put the Ion Shell on the creep and run away. Doesn't want to get ganked here. Yeah, he's gonna get the hell out. Doesn't want to get ganked unnecessarily.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is
So he's in
under
the area.
attack.
He might as well go ahead and farm these creeps over here. He's also going to pick up his boots from the secret shop. Now he's got pretty much everything a Darkseer needs to do some damage. Consistent mana, consistent heals. He's got 1140 health. He's going to go ahead, surge in. He's going to ult on top of the Juggernaut. Yeah, and that makes sense because he actually got stunned by the Centaur, or the neutral Centaur. They need to get that kill. You know, that's a Juggernaut. And a Juggernaut is basically the highest priority kill in team. So any kind of spell use he can use to kill that Juggernaut, that's going to be good. And he needs to see the Juggernaut also going to have a decent amount of stats. So even if the enemies were to come over out and try to help him out, they're going to walk themselves into a wall, and they're going to be being hit potentially by a Juggernaut illusion, which is decent. It's not bad.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
He's using his
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
illusion there, his replica, to scout ahead a little bit. And he's doing the combination here with the Spirit Breaker. He's probably going to go up here and try to back flank, envelop the enemy. He's got the double Ion Shell going. He's ready. The team's ready to fight. He does not have his ultimate. He's going to go ahead and probably surge in. He's got the 2 Ion Shells. He vacuums in the enemies on top of each other, trying to get them close to that Ion Shell. Sven stuns. There's a Tidehunter ult, blowing up the team. Then a Juggernaut ult, cleaning everybody up. Lion with a little bit of stun, just to try to get the heck out. Looks like Darkseer was doomed at some point during that fight, which means he's pretty much out of it. So he's just going to Ion Shell, run away, and farm. Farm, farm, farm. Farming Darkseer. Being protected here a little bit by the Lion. There are enemies in the area. Lion stun would potentially ward off enemies long enough for Darkseer to surge himself up, which does take a little bit of a cast time and get the hell out. So now's the time they really wanted to fight because the wall replica is online, and that vacuum did very little other than combine the enemies on top of each other, which ended up causing VP to collapse in on Vega, which caused the Tidehunter to ult, which caused everybody to pretty much die. So not a good idea. At least not without the wall of replica. It's better than nothing. I'll give him that. So he's surging in. He's going to try to put some damage here. No, he's going to get the heck out. He realizes he's in a dangerous situation. He's probably going to surge himself. He's not going to take the opportunity to do that because if you slow for a second, you might give the enemy the opportunity to stun you. And that's the opportunity they need to kill you. That's always a risk that I have trouble deciding when I'm playing Darkseer is, do I surge? You know, the cast time is annoying, and you know, I could kill. get myself killed. I guess the answer is if you're far enough away, just try to run away. If you're in a safe position for a second, go ahead and surge. Although he laned that differently than that. So the next thing he's going to get here is a Blink Dagger. I think I said everything he needed before. He needs all those other things. I think a Blink Dagger really allows him to change the game and be the initiator. Right now, you know, if they had blinks on everybody, they have. Well, right now the Spirit Breaker is basically the initiator. Maybe the Spend Stun or something. The Spirit Breaker follow up with the stun all around. But this is going to allow him to initiate. Eventually, Lion might be able to initiate. They are in a position to be able to jump on the enemy here. Problem is they don't know where the enemy is. His allies are smoked. They're probably going to run away. He's going to chase them right into his smoked allies. I wonder how this is going to go. And he's doomed. He's going to get Infernal Bladed. His allies are doing decently. He's not going to be on Mechanism. There's the Ravage. Pretty much wrap up his teammates. So, you know, not looking so good. Sven gets cleaned up. This early mag on the Tidehunter, this early Tidehunter Ravages are just decimating Vega. I'm sorry, decimating Virtus Pro. They've got to have a solution to this, and maybe the Blink Dagger is part of that solution. I don't think he got it already. No. Yeah, he's still at 1438. He's going to prioritize that Blink Dagger pretty much over anything else. Meanwhile, the enemy is farming his jungle, Yoku's jungle. Lion way far away from a blink. Lion is poor as anybody in this game here. So looks like the teams they're trying to figure out how they can deal with this Roshan attempt. He does have the wall. He does have the vacuum. There's the vacuum. He doesn't put the wall down though. He's got 26 seconds left in the cooldown on the vacuum. He's got the vacuum. He's probably going to use it. I'm sorry, he's got the wall there. He's going to use it to prevent the enemies from going high ground. He's going to chase them away. He's got an illusion there. He's going to probably search for with that guy. Put an illusion cell on the Spirit Breaker and on himself. He might be able to turn this. Sven with God Strength, Cleave doing ridiculous amount of damage, plus the stun to set it up. He's going to go grab the Arcane Rune, try to get back in this fight. Viper doing a lot of damage to his Sven. They're going to be able to blow up the Viper though, and they're going to get the Aegis off of this. So this is a big turnaround. You can see the Ion damage doing a little bit of work there. Two dual Ion shells sitting right on top of the enemy. And that's what he did. He just sat there, Yoku, and
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
no fear. So he goes back to farming, pushing the lanes, protecting his, protecting his towers from being pushed. He's probably going to go to the jungle here. Doesn't want to get caught out. Though they does have some decent wards there to the southeast. Nevertheless, the enemy in the position to potentially do something. And that's a scary situation for the Razor. Uses a static link to try to get some damage suck on FN's FN's Juggernaut there. While Juggernaut's running away. I think the Shadow... I'm sorry, I think the Moon Cow here, the Spirit Breaker's charging in. Probably not going to actually finish that charge. Probably just using it to get in position to get out of the base. Darkseer moving out, using that creep wave to farm the farthest jungle, and then moving in as the enemies, moving into his interior of his jungle as the enemies push that creep wave up to the tower. They're going to sack that tower. Not in any position to do anything about it. They're probably going to be pushing the mid, and they are pushing the bottom. If they're letting the creeps push the mid, they're all heading toward the right side of the map here, away from their own jungle. So I guess it's part of the game where the jungle is not as safe as it used to be. And the position one decided to take a little bit of farm there from Yoku. That's fine. Yoku says, you're in position one. Sven, you scary, scary man, and that God Strength. So he's going to head back. You know, what's he picking up here? The Blink Dagger. That's why he's heading back. He wants to be able to get that for the next fight. He also wants to avoid anybody seeing the Blink Dagger on him. This is the key pickup. Although he is going to reveal it right here. There it is. Enemy team potentially going to know. He is staying pretty far back, though, so they might not be able to see him. Yeah, they don't actually see him, so you can... That's actually quite... I can see him now. Yeah. Yeah, you can see that FN was already up there looking. He probably revealed the Blink Dagger. Although, you know, whatever. People are going to realize that Yoku is going to have a Blink Dagger around the 20-minute mark. It's basically when he got it. He would have had it a little bit sooner if it were if he weren't ganked. I think he actually wasn't ganked if he weren't he didn't lose that team fight a little while back. The team fight that led to the Roshan, which led to the other team fight. So he's doing the kind of split push thing. He's got a TP, but he can't do anything about it for 22 seconds. I pick up. Oh, he's gonna pick up Glimmer Cape. Nice item. Help out some allies. Another thing you can do to after you've blown all your cooldowns, mechanism and everything, you can use the Glimmer Cape quite frequently. So it maximizes what he can do in team fights, at the end of team fights, the beginning of team fights. Very good item, especially on, say, a Spearbreaker who's going to just run in there and hit everybody as they run through, or a Sven who gets targeted by, say, a Doom or something like that. Very good item overall. I'd probably get that no matter what. Force Staff, also a good item. I'm not sure if he'll pick that up. I doubt it. Probably just go for R items at this point. Pretty close to that Shadow Amulet, only about 600 away. Staying back in the base here, they don't have any vision. Their vision is all aggressive, and they even plop down a ward right at the front of their base just to be able to see what the heck is going on the outside of the base. They don't want to get swapped out, get killed, although they don't have a sentry in the area. At least they have one back here, which is kind of suspect. Not sure what that's all about. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the Radiant one. Or no, that's theirs. So their sentry ward can't see the Radiant one, which is right down there, though it's gone now. So the question is how they initiate. Blink in, vacuum, and there's the wall. He actually avoids the Ravage somehow. I actually saw the little tentacles come up underneath of him. He's got the, he mech'd up there. Now that's his contribution. He's gonna blink and like hit people. 96 damage per hit, not bad. He's gonna keep the Ion Shell on. That was basically all he does. And he's going back to farming. You literally can't do anything else. He's not even gonna bother chasing down anybody. He really wants to get this Glimmer Cape as fast as possible, prioritizing his farm over even pushing down that tower. And to a certain extent, that makes sense. I mean, he really does not need to be in that lane. This is efficiency, economic efficiency. Even pulling his illusions off of the wall, try to come over and help out the lane. If possible, they disappear before they can do anything, though. He's got enough to pick up the Glimmer Cape. Probably pulling it off the courier. Yep, put on the courier. Going to be able to pull it off now. I'm going to go for the Guardian Greaves next. Big item pickup. Very, very powerful. Especially when the allies are below 20% health. They got that additional, they got 15% regen, 15 armor. It's just so good. He does combine the heal and the mana, but that's okay. He does have the ability to use his own, to get his own mana via Soul Ring. So very efficient build here. Makes sense. He's building one thing right into the other. His friends and his allies are losing the team fights. He needs to get these big team items. He is basically their team fighter. Like kind of the aura supporty team fighter guy. Not, no stuns or anything, but his contribution can't be underestimated given the double Ion Shell damage is 90 per second. That's 180 on tool Ion Shell heroes per second magic damage. And during the course of a team fight, that's 25 seconds of that. So as I said earlier, that's quite a bit of damage you can put out. And you add the vacuum damage plus the plus the wall. He's doing a lot of damage. He can heal now. He's going to mana boots up. He's going to be able to help friends out with the mana, 40% mana resistance, 45% magical resistance, not mana resistance. He's going to have additional attack speed there, which is not going to be very helpful. And go give invisibility to his friends. I'm surprised he didn't give that to the Shadow Breaker there. But he said he's going to use it on himself. He's going to vacuum wall. FN not going to be able to stop to use the vacuum. Doesn't matter. The Blade Fury would have stopped the vacuum from being used anyway. So he tried to maximize damage he could do. Sven going to be doomed up, going to be killed. Lion not going to be able to return kill. He might be able to ult. Spearbreaker going to run in there and try to get that kill. He Ion Shells. He Glimmer Capes. He doesn't Surge. I think he tried to Surge. Tried to be able to put some damage on the enemy, hurt on the enemy, but the Glimmer Cape runs out and needs to get the heck out, so otherwise he's going to die. So they lose their two of their cores, lose their Initiator Spearbreaker, and the wall of Replica is down for 60 seconds. This is going to be Rax. There's no way they're going to be able to defend this. So he's just collecting the these creeps, staying the heck away from the enemy. Gonna ion shell in, get in, pull the creeps, get out. At least be able to see where the enemy is. And he sees that they're leaving, so he's gonna stay here. He's gonna prevent the creeps from being able to hit any of the towers or any important objects. Smoke on his team. He's gonna ion shell himself. He's got an ion shell on Sven. We're gonna try to get a kill here. Can they get there in time? No, probably not. Enemy is leaving. Spirit Breaker didn't even getting a charge off on that. So he's back to farming in the lane. Failed gank attempt. He needs to push out these lanes. I guess he's going to go back mid, kind of favor mid here, try to be able to keep the lanes pushed out with his ion shells. Although it looks like they are going for some kind of gank attempt. This should be relatively obvious when there's creeps sitting in the base. I don't know if Vega's going to fall for this one. In fact, they are already heading back. Yeah, so somebody made the decision there that that was not worth it. So he's keeping the ion shell to himself. He's actually not putting on Spirit Breaker. Now he puts it on a creep. So I guess that way Spirit Breaker can go do his own thing. Let the creeps push the wave. He's actually going to use his Guardian Greaves to heal up the creep wave and push the wave as much as possible. That's I would never do that during a pub match. I guess he understands they're not going to be a decent team fight in the next 20 seconds. But then again, you know, there are enemies pushing the bottom tower, and I guess I would always want to have those Greaves up just in case. Very, very powerful. But he gets away with it. Yoku. So he's staying in the very back here. He really wants to have that kind of follow-up. He wants to wait for the enemy to group up on his team, against his team, so that he can get the vacuum and the wall of replica and maximize his damage. He's really kind of a counter-initiator. He's got the ion shell, so he can maximize the damage over time. Puts it on the two bruisers, the people who are going to be in the middle of the lane, him, and No Fear on the Spirit Breaker. I'd also put it on the Sven, I think, if he were Sven in the area. Of course, you know, you got the Razor too, but the Razor is ranged. You know, I guess have a little distance between him and the enemies. We're sitting around the Roshan. That's probably the next big objective here. Got to push out these lanes a little bit, at least put them across the river, and they see an enemy to the bottom. They are going to be very careful what's going on. There's the swap in, and where is he? He's going to try to counter-initiate here. He surges himself, try to get in the game. He's going to vacuum. There's the wall, just on top of one hero. Going to take the Lion all to kill it. It's going to be a Ravage. I guess the Ravage is already used. Somehow, I don't know what happened there. Well, that's interesting. And he's just hitting. Didn't have a vacuum up again to be able to stop that TP. That was an interesting team fight. I actually want to go back and watch to see exactly what he did. So he starts off way behind. He sees the enemy. The swap is what starts it. Sven BKBs. There's the Ravage. Okay, only got two. I got 3 heroes and decent amount of damage, but let's actually, I'm not paying attention to StarSeries. My apologies. So the blink, the vacuum, the wall onto one. Doom walks right into the tower. And walks right into the wall. Surges. Not sure who he Glimmer Caped here. When does he use a Glimmer Cape? Probably on the Doomed target. I guess he Glimmer Capes himself there. Not really sure. Hard to tell. There's a lot going on. You know, so I think this wall of replica, you know, what I'm learning here is that it's important that you get it in a good location. It's not necessarily important that you get it on all of the enemies. You know, if they're going to walk in on the wall of replica, that's okay. If you're in a good position, hopefully it'll be there. So he's got the Guardian Greaves here. He'll be able to cast that, heal themselves up, be able to get the Roshan, double ion shell. Enemy not going to do anything about this, having lost 4. Big turnaround there by VP. On the back of what I would say are some mistakes on Vega. That Ravage is not the best Ravage in the world. They went out and they swapped Sven in, but Sven had the BKB, which is a really good thing because he might have potentially died there. And Viper's damage was severely limited. Doom, I think, even doomed Sven there too, but you know that doesn't much matter. I think dooming is Sven, and Venge had already blown her ult, so she contribute was really a little bit of damage, maybe a stun. Darkseer's ult there doing additional work when the Doom walked into it. The double Ion Shell doing additional work, Glimmer Cape doing additional work, the Guardian Greaves doing additional work, so pretty nice contribution. Vengeful Spirit does have Dying of Courage, probably cast that on the Sven, but I bet you that does not go through BKB. Could be wrong. Okay, so there's a Darkseer, used his little Glimmer Cape there to initiate, waited for the, I think that was Venge, to try to TP out, and then vacuum. That's a little bit of gold gone on the enemy. He's going to keep pushing out that wave with the vacuum, or with the Ion Shell. He's not farming. He's not prioritizing farming. He's prioritizing being with his allies. There's going to be a team fight here. How's he going to participate? His team's going to probably get the kill before anything happens. And a kill on the Venge is what he had originally set up. So if it weren't for him interrupting that TP, that Venge might not have been sitting there. Ion Shell on the Sven, the tanky frontliner, who enemies are going to be going on. You do have a Tidehunter, you do have a Doom who needs to walk right into somebody and hit him, as well as a Juggernaut, so they're all going to be taking damage on the Ion Shell. So, you know, not a good or hard counter, but a soft counter, perhaps, to melee heroes who have to stand in the Ion Shell range. Kind of a tickle, a little wet noodle hitting them over and over and over again. Eventually that does something. He sits back. He is trying to be the counter initiator again, trying to be somebody who can get the heals off, trying to get the Glimmer Cape off. He is playing a support role in these team fights in addition to his early game lane presence. So he is, but he's the big support. He is the, you know, position 3 support. He doesn't do a ton of damage except with his vacuum and his wall. Sven is by far the damage producer here. He's already got a Crystallis, he's already got the Echo Saber. And then Razor being the anti-hero, hopefully getting either the Juggernaut or the Viper, steal a bunch of damage from those enemies if he can, to try to stay alive. And, you know, with the Razor in the game just doing the best they can stay alive, so the static link can suck a bunch of damage away from the enemy. That means the Darkseer's Glimmer Cape and Guardian Greaves are even better, and he does pick up a Force Staff. So he's going to be able to really help himself out, help his allies out here. He is a protector. He is somebody who is, you know, jumping in on top of enemies, going to get within all. He's counter-initiating. He's waiting for his allies to initiate or be initiated on. He is not doing the initiating himself. He's counter-initiating when there's big team fights happening. He's keeping Ion Shells on his friends, which is early on kind of a fear tactic. Puts decent damage on the enemy and irritates them. A constant drain, kind of like a Necrophos or something. A little bit weaker than a Necrophos because it's just magic damage. But he's going to be able to save his allies with the Glimmer Cape, with the Force Staff, with the Guardian Greaves. And he's going to go for a Lincoln Sphere next, another protection item. To protect against the single target damage, or protect against single target spells, like a Doom, like a Vengeful Spirit ult, like a Vengeful Spirit stun, like a Gush, like a, I would imagine that also prevents a Juggernaut ult. So really good item pickup for him, and he has the money to do it. I think that's one of the reasons you use Darkseer as a kind of aura protection hero. He's actually not much an aura here, he's a protection hero at this point, an active protector of important allies, is because of his ability to farm. He is able to rack up quite a bit of gold. He's able to also push lanes, kind of softly push lanes. So you're looking at kind of the mid-game here and what his contribution is. You know, his contribution appears to be counter-initiating, protecting his teammates, and pushing waves, and doing so in an efficient way. Looks like he's going to grab the bounty room. I'm surprised he didn't let the Lion pick up that bounty room. The Lion's actually leading the charge, going to be the initiator here. We'll see exactly what happens. They're hopefully going to get an enemy here. They did not. They get glimpses of the enemy. They know the enemy is in the area. The enemy knows they're in the area. And now that they're under some wards, enemy definitely knows they're in the area. They put up some aggressive wards. They want to be able to use this advantage. They got some decent strength now. They got all their alts are up. Of course, all the enemies' alts are up too. But the BKBs are starting to come in. Some of these big damage items aren't hurting them so much. They do have the ability to deal with some of the initial damage onslaught, which before was just crippling them. They do have this Force Staff. They do have the Glimmer Capes. They do have the Guardian Greaves. In this case, Lion is a Ghost Scepter. Razor's got really, really tanky. He's got 2,280 health. Yeah, has 23 armor. He's got the plate mail. Got the BKB. Spearbreaker got the plate mail. Got the Vladimir's offerings. There's additional health gain through that, little extra armor through that. Sven doing Sven things. Got a BKB. Got Helm of Dominator. A little extra armor is helpful. He already got the Daedalus, which is nice. And he's always got the Warcry, which really boosts up that armor. Here's the smoke. Once again, Darkseer kind of middle to the back of the pack. He doesn't have to be in front. And if you kind of see this, kind of have waves of counter initiation here. But the Lion starting things off, potentially dies. That's fine. Lion gets off his ultimate to stun. Then you got the Darkseer ult, jump in and ult. Then you got the Spearbreaker jumping in for the stun. So with the stunning everybody, hopefully, that's kind of waves of counter initiation. So. This is deadly. This is a deadly combination here. You have really nasty waves of team fight. And notice how they're separating out a little bit. They want to be able to not get ravaged if possible. But they don't find the gank. At this point, it's obvious because there's creep wave pushing way across the river into their base. Enemy's probably going to come out now. Yeah, the enemy's starting to leave base. But they are afraid. They are, using these gank attempts to at least strike fear into the hearts of Vega, trying to choke off the economy, tie the noose a little bit, tighten that noose a little bit, so that Vega doesn't get into this jungle. And if they keep the creep wave pushed, then, they A, know when Vega's pushing out, and B, they have a decent idea that Vega's not in the forest, because they have a ward up here. A little mini map you see, they got a ward on that high ground on the staircase. And then they're going to have that creep wave pushing in to be able to see to the other area. So, the only one other entrance there, and that's surely the entrance they use. They just narrowly dodge a gank attempt, not knowing where the enemy is. That's some really good game sense by them. See what happens. Looks like the enemy really wants some of this. Here comes the blink. Here comes the ultimates by Juggernaut. By Darkseer. Darkseer sitting back here. He goes ahead and casts the Glimmer Cape, Force Staff. You're going to be able to kill this Vengeful Spirit before they do anything. A Force Staff that Darkseer forward. Yoku plus Spearbreaker is going to get a kill here. No doubt about that. There's Greaves, and this is probably going to be the game-turning fight there. So, I don't know what the enemy was thinking. Vega, clearly VP knew what was going on here. VP had the high ground. Darkseer goes in, pushes on the creep wave, reveals. I didn't realize that. He revealed. He blinked in, Force Staffed out. Very nice. I think he had a surge on too. Got the hell out of dodge. He was able to get the enemy to come in. Now they know. High ground is here. Stun, static link, ultimate from Razor. There's the wall. I think there might have been a vacuum there. And then, oh my gosh, Doom gets absolutely blown up by Sven God Strength, probably critting. Look at that 1454 crit there on the Viper. Juggernaut trying to get the hell out. And just casting the, not even casting Greaves yet. Waiting for his teammates to get lower health. Just cast the Glimmer Cape at some point on somebody. I don't know. He did use Soul Ring at some point in there. So that team fight potentially turned the fight there, or turned the game there. That might have been a game-winning team fight, I should say. And that was mostly a Vega mistake, I think. They were no position to push that high ground, not having any vision of what was going on. So many waves of counter initiation. And, they got their guy blown up. I mean, Doom was absolutely, he didn't get a chance to cast Doom even. It was an instant spell. And, started by the Darkseer. Darkseer, he's got a surge on. He blinks in. Ion shells a creep to keep pushing that creep wave over the river, and then gets the hell out with the Force Staff and runs away. Runs far, far away, and lets the enemy come to him. Counter initiates, helps participate in that almost instant Doom gib, and then that was it. That was all she wrote on the Doom, and the rest of the heroes got just destroyed by the Sven God Strength. And I'm sure that if they had gotten low on health, Darkseer would have just grieved. Which is kind of an odd thing to say, grieved. It's just healed. Grieved, it sounds like something else. He did cast a Glimmer Cape on somebody. I don't know who it was. Probably Sven. I would cast it on Sven probably every time, whoever that target is. Maybe the Razor as well, because Razor did get a nice static link off, so that might have actually been a good Glimmer Cape target as well. Surge in, Ion Shell, and he runs away. Sort of. Pulling out the enemies. They're trying to push this mid. Roshan is up very, very soon. Here's another team fight. God Strength on the Sven, blowing people up once again. Massive crits. Darkseer is able to vacuum in, get magged there. He's not going to cast his Wall of Replica. Going to surge up. Sven is going to jump. He's going to be able to jump in. There's a Juggernaut ult doing a lot of damage. Doing some, wow, some crits around the area. Actually killing off some friends. And there's the blank daggers on everybody. Quite nasty. I'll go ahead and watch that once more. Once again, not a fan of the Vega initiation here. My God, look at that Sven God Strength. They had to get the crits there, and Sven were just blowing up Viper. Vengeful Spirit had to swap in. Darkseer just sitting back, putting Ion Shell on somebody, I would assume here. He actually blinks in. This is where the he vacuums mag. He doesn't use the Wall of Illusion. He doesn't want to get ravaged. I think this is where the Ravage comes from. Maybe the Ravage has already been used there. There's the Ravage. On to Sven, trying to turn this. Ultimate. Doom used. Darkseer used the Greaves a little while back there. Would have been a good time potentially to use it now. Or also now, because if their health's below 20%, they're very, very difficult to kill. And there's the Surge on the Sven, trying to help the Sven get a little bit of hit. He got the hit there. He's going to be able to blink in, going to finish him up. There's Sven. Get the gem. It's going to allow them to get very good map control through significant vision. Darkseer almost to Lincoln Sphere. Very, very close. He's going to go back, push this creep wave, use all of his speed and skills to get back as quickly as possible. Pretty much, he's able to get back pretty much the same way as same speed as a Spear Breaker, which is just ridiculous. If you think about that, that was kind of fun. Almost like they were racing there. And picked up the recipes. He really wants to be able to get this done as soon as possible. He's going to try to deward anything he sees here with the gem. He's going to be able to do that. He's going to see this gem or this ward right here. And get rid of that ward. Actually doesn't see it because he doesn't have vision on the high ground. He drops the gem. He might have destroyed it. Maybe another enemy has it. Spearbreaker might have it. Yep, Spearbreaker's got a Lotus Orb as well, which is just nasty. And he's staying out of the Roshan pit. He does not want to be there. He needs to be the counter initiation and the savior character. He doesn't want to be in there. Not a good idea. He's got the Lincoln Sphere. He's probably going to cast that on Sven. Yep. There it is. Enemies are in present. He waited to see the enemies were there before he cast it on Sven. That's important. It only lasts for so long. But he's going to be able to cast it again here in just a second. 3, 2, 1. And he's going to do it again. Lincoln Sphere. He's casting it right on Sven. At this point, he really isn't pushing. I mean, he's sort of pushing creep waves when he gets a chance. He just throws an Ion Shell on somebody and stays out of the way. They got to be careful here. They don't have any vision of the south or southeast, no vision of the north, west there. He's going to go ahead and go up there and try to get some vision. He's not even going to ward. That's not his job. Other people are buying wards, but he's going to use his body to get some vision. He's got some decent escape mechanisms and some saving mechanisms. This would be the great time for the enemy to flank, but they're not going to do that. He's going to go ahead and keep the Lincoln Sphere right on the Sven. And, you know, what do? They can't swap Sven. It's going to be countered by the Lincoln Sphere. How do they do this? They're going to let the Razor go high ground. He probably has an Eggs at this point, I'm assuming. He does not have an Egg, so he actually is not able to knock down those towers. But he will. He will eventually. He has room to grow, which is a scary thing. There's the Ravage. Darkseer is going to wait to blink in. He's going to actually Glimmer Cape and Surge Sven to try to save him. There's the blink. There's the vacuum. There's the wall. And he's really done his contribution. Even Grieve there. He's going to probably go ahead with the Lincoln Sphere on the Sven. There's the Lincoln Sphere. He's going to put the Ion Shell on the Sven. There's a nasty crit on Sven to get the kill. Oh, he's going to get a ridiculous crit on the Tidehunter, and that's game, folks. You saw it. That is the role of a Darkseer. Early on, laning stage, he's not unkillable, but it's hard. It's very hard to kill him because he has 6 armor. He's got decent health. He's going to have the Ion Shell, which is going to do perpetual damage. Even if he's not hitting you, he's going to be doing damage. Very nasty, and he's got the Surge at level 2 to get him the hell out of dodge if he needs to. So very difficult here to deal with early on. He's gonna push the creep wave onto the tower. He's going to cut your creep wave behind the tower. He's going to make it so that your enemy, you know, your safe lane carry can't get good carry, good farm. And then he's going to go in your jungle and he's going to take all the creeps because he's going to have a shield. And he's going to have the Ion Shell. He's going to be able to farm up just, you know, a decent set of items. A Soul Ring. He's going to be able to get his boots. He's going to be able to get a Blink Dagger. He's going to get Guardian Greaves. He's going to get a Glimmer Cape. And he's going to be able to turn himself into, he doesn't do a lot of damage, but that's not his role. He turns himself into a protector. Especially in this game. I could see himself playing other roles, maybe a Gank Initiator, maybe get a Hex if he wanted to. Very versatile hero. And, you know, you don't really want to target him because he doesn't do a lot. But at the same time, with his items, he makes himself very relevant, and he sits so far back in the back that even if you wanted to get on him, you're not going to be able to get to him. You're going to have to hit the frontliners, and then you're hitting the frontliners. You have all their Ion Shells on them, and then they disappear because he uses Glimmer Cape, and then all of a sudden they fly away because there's Force Staff involved. And you try to cast your swap on them, but nope, it's canceled by a Lincoln Sphere. And then you got him down to low health, and then Guardian Greaves. And then all of a sudden you've got a vacuum on top of your head. You've got illusions all over the place. And, you know, the whole team fight is completely changed. You don't even know it. So that's the play style of a Darkseer. I'm starting to see now why a Darkseer is a hero that can actually really contribute to throughout the game. And something maybe you can do in your games. All right, folks, from one scrub to another, I hope you have good luck and fun in your games. Thank you very much.